time it is get your setup ready. I have mine already a little bit set up. I have the needles ready for, grab to switch them off. I got the syringe, the drawing needle. All right. I just hopped out the shower, but just to go ahead and do this with you guys, let's go ahead and get our alcohol wipes and wipe the area. Today we're doing it on the right side. So if you see my video from last week, I was bleeding a little bit because I hit a hair follicle. That's normal. I'm going to try and do it a little bit lower this week just to see if I still bleed. Alright, the extraction needle may vary. I did get some bigger needles before, but luckily Walgreens had a few left of the actual size that it's supposed to be. Just so that the tea doesn't, come out. The proper one for me is 18 gauge by 1.5. Alright, anything bigger than that, you'll notice that your tea starts to drip out, and that's the issue I was having. It was a little bit way too wide, and the tip wasn't a flat, tip like this. It was like straight across. It wasn't a diagonal. Just some tips for you guys to know. So me personally, I like to extract the tea like this, but if you have a big needle, I don't recommend it. I recommend you putting it on the table. And it's hard to extract because I have a band-aid on my finger. Sliced my finger yesterday making some food. Alright, so there is some air. If you've been watching my videos, you already know what I'm doing. If this is your first time watching, I usually push the tea back in to, get rid of the bubbles and make it less bubbles in the syringe. All right. You want to go ahead and go to your dose. For me, it's 0.45. So in between the 4 and 5 is for me. The bottom black part of the syringe is where you want it to hit for your dosage. All right. So see a flat surface. That's usually how you want to extract the tea if the extracting needle is too big. Alright, perfect. So no bubbles. It's kind of hard to see in the glare because of the light, but no bubbles. I only needed to push it back in once. A little tiny bubble at the top. There we go. Flicking it also helps it get out a little easier too. If the pushing doesn't do it, sometimes it causes micro bubbles. The more you do it, but that's fine. That's not going to do anything. If you feel really paranoid, then just continue doing it until you feel comfortable, and you can also do both. So no bubbles. We're going to go ahead and change the needle. This is why it's always good to have your setup and to have everything already at least half open for you to be able to grab like this. Syringe ready, flat side up, always. I never change this routine because just in case I want to do it intramuscular again or whatever, I don't, mix up how I do it. It just always stays the same. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. If you see a bubble come into the cap of the needle, that's normal. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna go back inside of you.
Still see the messages you read. Everywhere I look, I see souvenirs you left. Like my place became a shelf of memories I've kept. I see you every time I think I can
Try
sleep.
not to press too hard either.
Looking at your side of the bed, wondering why you escaped me.
Meaning the needle pushing it in.
Like a present I couldn't keep.
You'll feel it.
I feel like this every time, like a heartbreak
Give yourself
anniversary.
positive affirmations and it helps.
I remember every time I made you
You're
smile.
almost there.
Just like every time I put you down.
Slow and steady.
This must be what karma had planned for me, because it hasn't been the same in a while. Been praying to turn back the hands of time so I can do better now. But we both know it's rare that life works in our favor.
Once you push it all
If
the
it
way
did,
in,
I'd be
you wanna
forever
leave it
grateful.
here for about 20 seconds.
Forever in debt to the ones who saved us.
Just to make sure all the tea, came out.
I wonder, do you still think of me?
Nothing is coming out with it.
A heartbreak beauty queen.
Please excuse my cat. She might be
The first to ever give me a dose of what I gave in between.
see what I'm doing.
Not just in the sheets, but the better half of me. Do you wonder sometimes where we'd be if life's obstacles didn't crash with my insecurities?
Perfect.
Do you ever
Hey, boss.
think of me?
So, since you have everything already here, yep, starting to bleed a little bit. It's alright, it's normal. It's probably either scar tissue or a hair follicle because I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I've gotten quite a bit of hair on my stomach. It's okay, Bassie. It's okay. She's so curious. Band-aid really quick. If you do inject on top of a hair follicle, this is what would happen. Or it's scar tissue, so it's normal. It's not a bad thing, so don't freak out. Perfect. I highly recommend sub-Q versus intramuscular just because personally, less symptoms, if you've seen my video explaining why I went sub-Q versus intramuscular, perfect. If not, I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you've been, hurting yourself or if the recovery time is a little bit longer. I do want to say that with the sub-Q, since last week, I did bleed a lot and I felt that specific spot. I did feel it throughout this week, so it's good to alternate sides, and if you have bad memory like me, write everything down so I never do the same side twice. I do 1 week one side, 1 week the other, and if the other side hurts too much, same thing as intramuscular. If one side still hurts when you go to do your shot the following week, then that's when you would do the same side, which is let's say the left side hurts the following week, you do the right side, and then by the time it's time to do the left side again, it's still hurting, then you can go ahead and do the opposite side, but same thing with the sub-Q. So if your left side was still hurting from the previous week and you go and do the right side this week, so next week if it's still hurting on the left side, then go ahead and do it on the right side again. It's okay. That's just a method that I've done. So yeah, the symptoms have been minor. Honestly, I'll only feel this for not even the entire day today. Probably within the next few hours, 2 to 3 hours, I won't feel it anymore. So that's also why I went sub-Q style. But so I will be that friend that will be celebrating with you virtually. Alright? But enough of that. Enjoy your New Year's, family. Welcome to 2022. Whatever goals you have set, I hope that you accomplish them. Anything you had set for this year, I hope it was amazing. Alright, thank you for staying with me. Thank you for tuning in, family. I love y'all. It's New Year's Eve, so you know what time it is. It's litty like a mother, And stay safe, stay blessed. And see y'all next video, family.